Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Hello, good evening. Sorry, no Jerry tonight. Alas, no Jerry background. Jerry is drowning in work currently, so we will miss him today, sadly. So, let's see who's there. We have Orinoco, Danley, Dutch Demon Sub, Ewok Kebab, thank you for the subscription. Seems to be a small, elaborate round today. I'm fine with that. Since Jerry isn't here, and I'm not going to bore you by talking bollocks about other people's project I have no clue about, and can you give no background, I'm going to paint. What am I going to paint? Let's see. We go down here. Oh, we adjust the bloody frame a bit. And then we look for the clicker thing. And there it is. No, not painting bot war. We're going to paint murder teddies. Since they have been assembled on stream, I think they might as well be painted on stream. The walls. You're talking about my my block. Let me see if I can show you the block. There's the block. Some painting done already because yeah, I'm not going to get into all the nooks and crannies when it's done. But I also added. Hold on. Stairs that go in the block later. But this is just a first coat of PVA and paint. No, Fugu won't be jealous. To quote Fugu themselves, be the change you want to be, since I think I've gone on the nerves enough with recommending, wanting them to make a Brak. So, let's just crack on. And I need to dust these off a bit because I've seen some odd spider webbing happened after priming. I don't know where that came from because these haven't been sitting around long enough for getting spider webs on them. So that just to make sure that there's none on them, I'm going to give them a quick swish with a brush. So this is the commander box with Wicked in low grey, and then 8 warriors. And I just hope to God that the ones with 1 foot on the ground stick to the ground. Hello, Zopenhead, a Brock. I'll make Jerry a Brock when Lloyd has finished building Rome. One thing after another. No! Irritatingly, there's no Chief Chirper, but maybe there will be one. Though I'm not sure why they haven't gone with the Chief Chirper and have chosen to go with Logre. Demon Sub, completely understandable. I think we've all been there at times, having no interest in painting anything. Hell, I for myself have been there so many times, I don't really count them anymore. Main problem tonight for me will be which paints to choose, because my speed paint range is limited, but I think I found some that will work with these miniatures without looking too off. So Low Gray will get his stripes as in the movie, and we're going to use Zealot Yellow and Palette Bone. I'm not quite sure how that will actually turn out, but well, here's hoping. Yes, Openhead, that's a reasonable question. Maybe you should ask Lloyd that. I'm already forgetting how that joke started way back when. at what point Jerry tried to make Lloyd build his Rome. Also, that's not my idea, that's just somebody else's idea, and I just happen to have a bag of these. They're a bit small, but at the same time you don't need something more bigger to have a impression on how the paint is going to look on your miniature. Where's my brush? There's my brush. I think the first time I saw somebody use those bottle cap ideas was something along the lines of an orc head, maybe? Yeah, Warren used bigger nubbins, but I think he printed them, so there's that. So this is yellow, so this is not the middle stripe. Let's see how this works. Not as good as I thought, but maybe just using small applications. Bitbox sorting counts as hobby, absolutely. I mean, organizing your hobby space counts as hobby in my book, because it's a mandatory thing you need to do occasionally, so you won't drown in piles and piles of plastic. Not sure how this is going to turn out. I've never tried painting stripes on fur. Not sure how I need to make them run to look good. So potentially this is going to go horribly wrong. No, that's not a hobby. That's a mandatory thing to do to have your space in order. And you of all shouldn't be talking too loud, Mr. I built myself a hobby space. That's organizing in the most expensive way. Yeah, Demons Up, I'm sure they are to some degree. I'd say there's something rubbing off from us on them. You yourself did. And you showed pictures. There's no denying. Don't even try. Not looking too shabby so far. But this is only just the first stripe, so this could still go horribly wrong. Anybody else in there doing hobby right now, or are you just all waiting for the inevitable cursing and screaming on my part? Well, the face is going to be interesting. Hello, Zook. Orinoco's painting Italians. I'm not sure that skunk stripes would actually work on characters. Oh, Lego Technique is built by Dave Harbottle. Yes, those are very fine. Still, I've got some in my garage sitting somewhere in a box of Lego. Oh, the space shuttle. Let's see, I had a big red sports wagon of some description. And I think some kind of construction vehicle. Why is pallet bone making the same? Did I just pick up the wrong color? Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ, butterscotch. What am I going to do now? Fuck. I wanted to use... Yeah. That's the thing about talking and painting at the same time. Yes, pneumatic pistons and everything. That's the what's it? The bucket loader, whatever it's called in English. And the red race car had a working piston in its engine when you pushed it in the wheel. Or was it the steering also worked? But man, they were expensive then, and are they expensive now? Let me tell you. Well, let's get rid of this, because this is going to irritate me. There's one brush, there's one brush. Yes, this is a different color. Now, let's see. He's getting stripes. He does not look like on the box, but who cares? I can always go back and use a different color on top, I think. I hope. Let's go for the back side. Should have started with 2 paints to begin with to have a more wet blending effect. Hindsight. Let's just go with this. Trust the process. Or suck up the error. Own the thing. Speaking of Lego, I tried looking into the computerized kits, the Mindstorms, and boy, they're not cheap. Those I would have loved as a child if they were available back then. I think I need to redo some of the stripes later on in a different color to lighten them up a bit. They stopped making Lego Mindstorms. Oh, that's sad news. Wow. They were great for making tinkering projects and stuff. And teaching kids how to code. And giving us an excuse to buy them. Honey, did you buy even more Lego? No, those are things I need for teaching the kid how to code. School supplies, that's the word. Oh, so they just dumbed it down a bit. Well, that's a shame. Let's put this one aside and let's see our little friend, the most favorite furry fuzzy ball of them all, Wicket. Wicket needs a different shade. We need something along those lines. I hope people can hear me. If not, I'll be talking bollocks. Hello. I can't hear you. That's for sure. Background music is a little loud. Hold on, that's fixable. Is it now better? It's always hard to grasp how loud the music is on the other end of the screen. Hello, Mr. Toros. Never hesitate to tell me that something is too loud in the background. Or any other streamer for that case, because it's really a nightmare getting audio right. Painting little Ewok faces. Nope, nope. Yes, hitting mute is a favorite pastime hobby of mine. Every time I'm at work. Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, I muted you. Sorry. The mute function is a powerful one. Well, I have been thinking about using regular music for painting streams, but the problem is I'm not sure how quick Twitch is on filtering said music, and I don't want to risk having a mute stream because the music in the background is getting bleeped and everything else with it. That would be a shame. I could try to at one point in the future, maybe, perhaps. But then again, Warren is seeming to incorporate the radio, or wanting to incorporate the radio again, so maybe we'll have a music painting stream at that point. People would do such things, Dave, just out of spite. People can be horrible at times. You know why I'm struggling with the minis right now? I forgot to use my lens. Oh, bloody me. Hello, Mr. Hobby Lodge. I hope you're doing well, Martin. I've seen you getting back on the painting train as well. Now, a different reference picture for me, please. I need that one. Now. So I don't know if I'm getting the Mantic Sci-Fi Advent Calendar because that was a gift of my wife last year. I did drop some hints in that regard, so I might be lucky. If not, I might just give it a look because my supplier had some in stock after Christmas, so if they're not sold out, then I might actually be going after them. So this little fellow is going to get Graveyard Grey. I did look up, some Ewoks are actually just grey. Which makes painting them all the more easy. Multi-award winning Moonstone. And if the miniatures weren't so bloody expensive, no relative term. And if I hadn't had a pile of plastic that already is starting to come down on me. Also, since we are on the 230th episode today, I think I should start thinking about what happens on the 250th episode, which is only 20 weeks away, which is like 4.5 months. So somewhere around February, maybe? No, 250. 255 would be interesting if I had started with an episode 0. 256 is way too much computer nerdy for most people to grasp. So let's go for the classic 250. Invite Warren. Might. Though I'm rather doubtful that he's actually having time. But then again, asking can't hurt. Which brings me to poor Paul, who has now to compete with Warren's idea of streaming on Thursdays. For a shock second, I thought he'd say he's going to do the OTT stuff on a Tuesday. That would have been, yeah. Not good. Not good. But even if I couldn't help it. I don't think you can crown it the official Hobby Hangout, even though we had Ben here and we had Jerry here more than once. Because I'm in no way, shape or form affiliated with on Tabletops. So I can't be officially. I can be the officially endorsed Hobby Hangout, maybe. Or the official hangout we would have liked to have, but we don't have anymore. I mean, some of you may remember the old Hobby Hangout with John and Ben and what's his face? My names. Lance. Yeah, Paul could be the desert. But to be fair, there's little to no chance if you actually try to find a spot that's suitable for your hobby streaming that hasn't been occupied by anybody. Unless you want to go into a time zone that's deep in the night. Sure, you can do this one or twice, but yeah, as long as you don't, as long as you're not planning on making money with streaming, I think just doing whenever you want is the best option. And to be fair, possibly the only option. There's just too many streamers out there that are wanting to go, yeah, we are going to do this. Good night, Dutch. And I should be very tired by now because there was blood donation today again. But for some odd reasons, my iron wasn't high enough. So they said, nope, you can't. You're not going to give blood today. So I still got my full fill of blood, which is a bit disappointing. But then again, I'm not sure I'm liking this new playlist by Mr. White Bat Audio. I thought I'd try something new. Doesn't really strike a chord with me. Yes, no, I can't really tell. I'm going regularly now for almost 2 years. And my next appointment always is 2 weeks after the earliest date they allow me to go back. And the measurements weren't off too far, just slightly under, but slightly is still under, and hence they don't allow for me to give blood. To quote them, for my and the potential recipients' safety, because they need the iron in the blood. And only today I've learned that parts from coffee and tea are counterproductive when it comes to getting iron on your hemoglobin, if that's the English word for it. I know that's the German word, but I'm hoping it's the same for English. The little red blood cells needing more oxygen binding properties. Homogoblins, yes, that's it. I'm not sure what how do you call it? What kind of measurement they are, but the value was a 12.9, and they need it needs to be a 13.5. Yeah, tea drinking alone isn't the problem. I think it's a combination of me rarely eating anything during a workday because it makes me sleepy, and having donation appointments follow up onto each other in very close quarters. And work is making us all sick, Taurus, I think, to a degree. So next time when I'm going off donating blood, I'll be drinking less coffee during the day and be eating pumpkin seeds, because apparently those are very rich in iron, according to the helping leaflet they gave me. So from Speed Paint 1 series, they all mix very nice, except for Bloody Holy White. That takes ages. Well, Iron Brew is something on my list that I need to try whenever I'm back in England for some description. I've heard so many bad things about it, I need to taste it. And pumpkin seed bread is very tasty, I give you that. Many breads that contain whole seeds are very tasty, in my opinion. I do like the occasional sandwich toast and white bread, but for proper breakfast there's nothing but a wholesome bread. I don't think I'm getting away with iron from Guinness just prior to me donating blood. I mean, the idea is nice, and since the appointment is close to home, I could walk back. Maybe I should ask them next time if it's possible to have a 1 or 2 pints just prior to donating. I mean, it should even make donating easier since the blood is getting thinned. Should run smoother. The odd thing, Iron Brew has been brought to my attention by a video game podcast that has been defunct now. Can't even remember the name. That's my short memory for you. Daniel Paris was one of the hosts. That's all I can remember. Three wee young lads and lasses talking shite about video games. Was very disappointed when they stopped doing their podcast for work-related reasons, which I feel is always the worst thing that could happen to your hobby. Needing to stop doing your hobby because it interferes with your work, or vice versa. Should I do the rest of the teddies just brown, or should I go and make one in very odd colors? I can't remember. Did the Ewoks come in weird colors? In some form? Let's see. Well, the animated series seems to be a very colorful one. But do I really want to go down that route? I don't know. Ginger murder teddy. Nomad, you know what? I think I'm going to do just that. Using fiery orange should give me a very interesting colored teddy bear. Yeah, but I need to use these paints I'm having available right now. I can't be ordering paints now and painting them in whenever they arrive, so... I could also start mixing paints like some professional painting dude, but yeah, that's not going to happen. Especially not since speed paints on the palette really don't reflect the color they're going to be on the miniature. That's the only major criticism I have about them. You can mix them, but there's no way to be sure on what the actual result may be. So, Ginger Murder Teddy, should he be a slingshot wielding loony or a spear wielding loony? Answers on a postcard. Poll closes in 3, 2, 1. Broken bottle. I can't have those. Well, giving Broken Bottle is a very improvised weapon. I'm going to use this sling one. So this is the one. Let's see how this is going to turn out. Oh, Dave. I'm not going to repeat that. And also, I'm not going to use the dreadful phrase that's always asked that people get asked when they're having ginger hair. Something regarding carpets, which is a stupid way to ask. I feel the German version is way much better. If there's rust on the ceiling, the basement is wet or moist. Natural redheads are easily to spot, I think. Simply because the way red looks on a natural is way different to almost any dyed version of red. But that seems to be something people are not able to spot. For some odd reason. There seems to be some kind of color blindness in that regard. Now the fiery red isn't as orange as I thought it would be. Maybe the what you call it, the priming is a bit too dark. He almost has a fuzzy bear like color. And don't forget the ears. Yeah, and it's not only the hair, but the skin color, skin tone, freckles. There are so many subtle details that you just don't have when somebody has dyed their hair red. And I feel that's very easy to spot. There's very few redheads I've met in my life that weren't natural that almost convinced me. Very few. But we are not here for hair theory, are we? Which one was which? Yes. We found another brown teddy. Is that the brown teddy? That's the brown teddy. You're getting color. Whee. Don't you just love speed paints? I for certainly do. Oh, for all you folk out there that are partaking in Terrain Fest on OTT, how is your progress coming along? I must say I'm pretty much relieved that I had an idea that works for me on multiple levels. I get to build a piece of terrain that I'd really like to have. I get to use my hot wire cutter again. And I'm building a block brick by brick. Though I've seen some projects on OTT where just why even bother to compete? Some of you folk are way too talented for your own safety. Yeah, having concepts is a nice thing as long as you are able to put them into a real thing. I've got so many ideas that I know I will never attempt to make Toros simply because I know I lack the time, the space, and even worse, the time. So many of these projects just gobble up time like there's no tomorrow. And technically there is no tomorrow when you start working on those kinds of projects. Because you're stuck in the here and now to make that project happen. And I'm really curious on who is going to get the £300 voucher and what the project will be. That's going to be the most interesting reveal I feel that we've had on OTT for a long time. Started painting. I hope it's nothing too big of a deal or too big of a project. I need a sip drink. Well, if you don't like building terrain and you can afford to buy it, that's all grand. But what happens if you want a piece of terrain that is not available as a buy-in option? Do you just pass it? Oh, 6 mil terrain. Is it cheap? I've looked at the Armor Clash terrain pieces. I don't feel that they're very cheap per se. But then again, I don't know how far you get with one of those building blocks. Oh, and speaking of Armored Clash, I've seen they've shown now detailed pictures for the what's it called? The Union. They do look nice. Still not a faction I'm very interested in playing. It's war created sticking the arm in. To be honest, I've given up on keeping track on which company is grabbing how much money from whom, because, well, technically they all need to make money to pay their employees. Employees, yes, and keep companies afloat. So who am I to judge what is an appropriate amount of money? I only know how much any given kit, piece of plastic, resin, metal, miniature is worth to me. So, and there will be discrepancies. If it's a company like Heresy Miniatures, where it's only Andy doing the work, I'm willing to pay a bit more because that's more boutique. If it's a big company doing boxes by the numbers, not so much. Simply because production in big quantities leverage bigger margins. That being said, I'm still waiting on my local supply dealer thingamajig to stock anything new that I could buy. They are still waiting on stock for Armored Clash, and they're still waiting for the latest releases of Star Wars Legion. There seems to be a problem with the supply chain at Asmodee Germany, because they have postponed the launch of the newest boxes to the end of October, which is a shame. I haven't seen the miniatures in person, so I can't really tell if it's the miniature that's too detailed or if the paint job just makes too much of it. Nobody forces you to paint all the details. And I'm pretty sure if you use something like, excuse me, speed paints, the whatchamacallit, the detail level will work in your advantage, or to your advantage, I think is the term. No, never heard of supply problems with Asmodee Zork, that's for sure. I mean, it can't be the plastics, because the plastics have been produced and shipped to the Americas. So I'm guessing either there's just a box somewhere stuck at customs. That's something we haven't had a while with Asmodee. Or that maybe the translation, for some odd reason, is lagging behind. Which is the most viable thing, I think. The most probable problem. That's the word I was looking for. That could very well be Orinoco. That's with the other catalyst stuff, because there's one item that's for Marvel Crisis Protocol that's also delayed. So that would then again work to my theory of the box is at the harbor and somewhere stuck in customs. As long as it's in the harbor and stuck in customs and not stuck in the canal somewhere because some idiot couldn't be asked to steer the ship properly, then yeah, things will arrive. And it's not like I'm not having anything to paint anymore currently. Far from it. At the beginning of November, there's a small convention here. So something like a micro spiel, if you will. I'm looking forward to that. Haven't been there in a while. And they seem to have found a new way to work with public interest. They changed venue and they had some new cooperations partners, so I'm looking forward to see whatever happened. And maybe taking some pictures. Or at least have a look-see at the MacForce Germany that will be participating. So, last murder teddy. What color will you be? Not sure. What color is you? Oh, that's the dark one. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Having two dark ones can't be bad, can it? Surely not. Everybody else is going to have brown teddy bears, so I'm going to have black teddy bears. Licorice. Well, technically it's Gravelord Grey, so it's a dark grey, not completely black. And that's actually a kind of color I found on reference pictures for assorted Ewoks from the movie. The Empire... No, the... Bloody hell. Return of the Jedi, not The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back doesn't have any murder teddies in them. At least not in the current iterations that are available for consumption. Yeah, it's going to be a very dark grey. If I had thought about it 30 seconds earlier, I could have just mixed in a tint of blue, I guess. to make it blue-gray, to have it a bit distinct from the other one, but, well... There's so much other detail still on these miniatures to be painted that they won't be seen as... they're just the same color. They're my minis. I paint them how I like them. And you can go and play in traffic, as Jerry would say. At some point I might need to get my hand on these very ultra dark blacks, like dark 4.0 and stuff, or black 4.0, just to see for myself how they look in the flesh. Because I really can't make myself believe that anything can be that black. Black, 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 number one. So, there's that. Now we have this, and we have... yes. What happens, Open, if you put just a dot on a flat surface? Does it look like a hole? Or is it just... nah, it doesn't work. Ah, shame. I'd like to have something that looks like the foldable hole from the Beatles movie Yellow Submarine. What's that? That's one part of a hole. So, all the tree trunks and stumps are getting regular paint, just because I can't be asked. Then let's start. Warpstone. Undiluted acrylic paint directly from the pot. People are raging right now. But I don't care. It's a trunk. A tree trunk. Somewhere in the forest. Somewhere over the rainbow. Where did that come from? I don't know. Who's talking? And speaking of talking, has anybody heard anything from Mel, the terrain tutor, after his cry for help a few weeks ago? I'm not sure if he has said anything except for the one community update on YouTube going, I'm said things. I feel he's going completely silent now. And I'm not sure if that's because he just needs time to adjust his life, or if he has just vanished from the YouTubes altogether. Nobody seems to know. I just hope he's alright. I just had to think about him today because somebody in a German terrain group asked for if anybody had done hills via expanding foam. And I showed him the video that Mel did 7 years ago. And boy, did he look different way back then. I really hope he finds his mojo, his motivation and enjoyment of the hobby. It would be a shame if he stopped doing his terrain videos. I got so much use out of them. His Frosted City video, how to use rattle cans, the elaborate video on how scales work. That's one you can show anybody who's talking about miniature scales. I mean, currently I would be very happy just to have him put out a short video saying, yeah, not going to do videos for X amount of time. I'm alright, I'm still here. See you around. When people just stop doing their thing and disappear, that also always makes me nervous. Especially when I know they have a history with a black dog and stuff. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I think his videos are good is he doesn't shy away from showing his mistakes when he does something completely utterly stupid is maybe too harsh, but when he tries something new and it just goes, nah, that's not working. What did he call his series? The Lab series, where he tried new things and compared to other things? I think it was the Lab. And I never can look at miniature palm trees without thinking of him. Miniature palm trees for his chindits. Yeah, that's my train of thought, Demon Sub. I think he needed a break, and he couldn't. The way I see it, he knew he needed a break, but he couldn't give it himself because he still needed to create income. And since his Patreon was set up not via monthly fee, but on a per video basis, yeah, no video, no money. I guess that's something that that got to him rather quickly. At some point, he was just putting out on Patreon 3 times the same post with a movie link attached, a video link, just to have the money. Which the first time was okay, the second time was, well, a bit miffy. The third time, I felt a bit, not so great. But that's in the past. I just wish him the best. Yeah, so I've been needing to put things out is one thing, but there's still options to do things differently. He could have stayed on Patreon with the, or gone with the monthly method, and have something along those lines with, yeah, you pay me monthly and I'll do videos whenever I can, and I'm here for patrons to ask me questions, and once a week I'm trying to answer them, or even once a month. The Patreon wasn't that big in terms of numbers. Way less than he had YouTube subscribers. Brain, we're talking about Mel the Terrain Tutor. One of the, I think, biggest YouTubers that's not all about Warhammer, but only terrain building and crafting, and the occasional game of whatever. And maybe it was just the perfect negative storm for him with the divorce and everything. Yeah, that's something in theory more easily done, Demon's Up, but I'm guessing harder to do. I'm not sure how his how hiring works in the UK currently, and how much influence your health status has on hiring techniques. You don't think the book Kickstarter helped? So I feel that was maybe the turning point. He seemed to enjoy the thing, and the book is good and nice, and I have it. And I do remember the live stream he did way back when the final hours was, and he doing the Gopher dance and all. Yeah, and see that's the problem. He needs a job that pays enough for rent and the potential studio, because that's his dream. And giving up your dream when you're already having it in your grasp, I think that's a terrible thing you need to do. So if push comes to shove and you really are in such dire needs for funds, yeah, maybe turn it down a notch. But and again, I wouldn't want to change with him in that regard, having to choose between comfortable living and making your dream come true. Yeah, that's why I feel, Demon, that's maybe just a culmination of negative things happening to his life that just did a number on him. I guess doing the book was exhausting, understandably so. Then the event happened, and I'm not sure if the divorce came before, during, or after the event. But whatever the case may be, it's still something that really drains life sources. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Also, what's the saying? Be careful for what you wish for. It may come true, and losing something you love in several ways is yeah, hard. Mel the terrain tutor. MEL. Like Zoipenhead just said. Not the one that Demon Subnet told. I'm not sure who said it, but I think somebody in the OTT Discord said it would be best if some company will hire him and make use of his talents. Like, for example, if Business Daddy, aka Wayland Games, would hire him on a project basis, I think that would just take off some of the stress. But that's just me. So hold on to your horses. Let's see if I can make this happen. Where's my remote? Oh yeah, there's my remote. He did commission in the past, and they always turned out great, I feel. Unplug. Whoa! We're way too close. Oh, where's my zoomy? There's my zoomy. As current state of paint, I really need to trust the process. This is yeah. Much more work needs to be done. But not today. Because I'm closing shop. I've got a very stiff neck. I've got the feeling my head is about to explode. And also my drink is almost empty, and I could be complaining so much more. But who wants to hear an old man complaining? I don't, and so don't you. All the teddies off the pic. That reminds me, I need to take to look at my bits box from Star Wars Legion, even though it's very limited because of the way the miniatures are packed. When I can find some Imperial heads, they will be going onto the bases. Where's my light switch? Bloody hell. There it is. Ah, way much better. Putting away the magnifying glasses. Thank you everybody for staying on stream with me tonight, even though Jerry isn't here. Hope you got some progress done on your hobby stuff, and in case anybody is still watching on YouTube, thank you very much, and enjoy your evening. I will be back next Tuesday. I'm hoping Jerry will be back as well. If not, I'm going to be very sad, but I'll think of something. Have a good night.